Real talk, real talk, real talk once again for the night. Giving a major shout out to the YouTube family and everybody. You all know who you are. And I want to give a major shout out to my brother, my big brother, PP Drawings. Now, I was trying my best to go to sleep, PP Drawings, but your comment that you just left on the video I did about Oklahoma City, man, I got to tell you, all I could do is say ouch on that. And I was just having that same conversation with my pastor, I guess about 2 weeks ago. And I want to just tie this in with the world, like you were saying, because this is what PP Drawing said, people. He said, compared it with basketball, he said, I think church need to take a halftime break and make some adjustments. He said, but the church can't make those adjustments at halftime because they still on timeout. Somebody will catch that later on. And then PP Drawing said, if the church would stop dogging out the world, maybe they could learn something from the world. Now, PP Drawings, that's a powerful statement. And big shout out to you once again. And you're so right, bro. I heard a preacher the other day dog out people in the world so bad. Basketball players, matter of fact. You know, I know of churches that say basketball is a sin and that anybody play basketball is going to hell and they won't see the kingdom. Now, here's the thing that get me. They talk bad about these basketball players and these stars, these celebrities, until they come to the church and start giving that money. Now, all of a sudden, they're in the category as a saint. They start helping people out and giving money to the church. Now, some of these preachers shut their mouth up. It's too many hypocrites. Look to me like the world is giving more than the church. And look like both of them are crooked. Somebody catch that later on. I will leave that alone. But PP said, I think the church need to take a halftime break and make some adjustments. And you know what another problem is, PP? Ain't got nobody to really make the adjustments with. Because there's too many people sleep in the church. Now, I want to tie that back in with basketball because I like what you said. You said if they would stop dogging out the world, they could learn something from the world. Since a lot of, holding down folks say basketball is the devil's project, just like R&B music and so many other things. Well, let's talk about that for a moment. Basketball. If they would stop dogging out the world. You know what I love about basketball, man? It's exciting to look at. You got the dunks, the three-point shooters, the ripping and running down the court. Who's going to win? Who's going to do this? Who's going to do that? And when you notice closely, I'm about to preach in a minute, it takes that starting five. And if anybody looked at Oklahoma City Thunder, you saw how they pull together as a team. You come with your five starters, Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and my boy Perkins that came from Boston, and Serge Ibaka and Seth Asosha. I hope I'm saying his name right. But think about the starting five. How they pull together. Somebody got to be the guards. Somebody got to stand in the middle as the center. In the center. Excuse me, because it sounded like I said center. Somebody got to be that power, the power forward, the forward. So all of them are working together to try to win. And when you think about that five, then you got a bench also. And I think about James Harden, who comes in as the sixth man. Christ also had disciples with him, didn't he? They was all part of the team. And you got the five starters who pull together and play ball. When you fast forward to the church, you had the fivefold ministry. Yes. The fivefold ministry, which were the apostles, some were prophets, the evangelists, the pastors, and the teachers. But what if we really play like a team? What if we could really live like the Bible say, PP Drawings? It's going to be mistakes made, but you can still win. Now, if the church could pull as hard as Kevin Durant in Oklahoma was pulling together to win a championship, think about how many souls we could pull to Christ. But like you say, PP Jones, there's too much dogging out the world. And when Christ came, not to condemn the world, but through him the world could be saved. The starting five did a beautiful job. People off the bench did a beautiful job. The ministry now has become weak. Very weak. I don't know what most pastors are preaching. I don't know what a lot of teachers are teaching. I don't know what these prophets are prophesizing. I don't know what a lot of these evangelists are doing. And I don't know who want to really call themselves an apostle now. We so caught on titles. When God ain't a respecter of a person, we caught on titles that we ain't caught on salvation. We ain't caught on winning souls. See, they won, I feel you, PP Drawings, they won the Western Conference. And they might even win the whole thing, the East, and be the number one. But I said that to make this point about how they pull together. What if pastors could pull together with other pastors? Come together. And not just come together at a funeral. To figure out what else can we do to help the communities, to help our church move forward, to get the lost saved, to get people off the streets, to feed the needy, to clothe the naked, to feed people that's hungry. Go in the highways and byways. And they doing that to win their championship, but we are doing it to win souls for the Lord and gain eternal life and maybe even get a crown. Because he said if you labor, he will give you a crown. So, yeah, the church need to take a halftime break. And it need to be longer than an hour. And make some minor adjustments. But you know what, PP? When it come to making adjustments in the church, that's where your biggest fallout come. Because sister such and such done been going to the church for so long that can't nobody tell her what to do. Or the deacon been the deacon for the last 30 years, can't nobody tell them what to do. Can't nobody get along, so the adjustments can't be made. And you know what I like about, while we talking about basketball, PP Drawings, it remind me of LeBron James and when he left Cleveland. Because he made an adjustment, because he wanted to go where it was more help at, so he can try to win a championship. Same thing with church. Sometimes you got to move around and make those adjustments and leave folks that want to sit still. See, LeBron had his mind made up that he wanted to win. He wasn't even worried about the money. He was going to take a cut. I think he did, if I'm not mistaken. And when it was time for him to move, he moved. And look at where he's at now once again. He's trying to win. But most people want to lose in the church. Because they don't want to move forward. You're right, brother. If people stop dogging the word, they can learn from some of these basketball players. You can learn a thing or two from that man on the corner that don't look like you, don't dress like you, and don't talk like you. You listen to him long enough, he might have a good word, for you. The fivefold ministry. The starting five. What do you see going on with the fivefold ministry right now? When you name it, when you just focus on the prophets alone, look like we have more false prophets than real prophets. And y'all know me when it come to prophets. Look like it's more evangelists getting busted. Look like more pastors are spreading lies. And look like most teachers are teaching what they want to teach. But if we could learn how to be like Oklahoma City and play as a team. And here's the thing I like about it, PP Drawings. They young team. They ain't been in the league half as a lot of them folk, and they already done won the Western Conference. Because why? They on one accord. They serious. They focus. They mind is into it. What if we could be serious, focus, one accord, like when you see Kevin Durant throwing that alley-oop to Westbrook, or Westbrook vice versa throwing that alley-oop to Kevin Durant. They already know what they doing with each other. They ain't even really got to look at each other. Kind of like when Magic Johnson was playing. You don't know who Magic going to throw the ball to because he's never looking at you. That's the same way we should be. ppdrawings, I should be able to throw the ball at you and you already know what to do with it. Because we connected in the spirit. Basketball, the 5 starters, ministry, the 5-fold ministry. Each person play a part in the body. And when you're not doing your part, it shows. Peace and remain blessed.